Welcome everybody to Video Friday. Today we have a very special guest. We have my friend Michelle Huesken from Untamed Heart Photography, and I am so excited to have her with us today. So hello, Michelle.
Hi, Leah.
We are going to have an awesome conversation today because Michelle, if you've ever been to her blog or website, and if you haven't, you should pause this really quick and go look so you can see all the beauty, and then come back and keep watching because it's just inspiration overload, which makes it so appropriate that today we are talking about inspiration and how to get it, where to find it, if Michelle has always had it, and all that jazz. So now I need to sing all that jazz. Okay.
All that jazz.
Let's jump in.
Okay.
First, where do you get your inspiration?
Well, for me, and kind of, backtracking on where one would begin to find inspiration as a photographer, I think a lot of people get hung up because they look to other people for inspiration. I know you just said go to my blog and you want some inspiration, but when you're starting out and whenever you're trying to grow and come into your own, I hate to use this word, but style, people often will go to other people's work and replicate it. And that's not really finding your own style. That's not taking what you have inside of you and turning it into art. That's taking someone else's vision and turning it into, a vision for yourself. For me, I have always looked to my childhood for inspiration. I was one of those kids that was outside constantly from Missouri, and I was in the creeks, in the woods, running around with no shoes on, digging up worms, snakes, whatever, what Missouri folk do, And so that's where I look for my inspiration. That's where I go to for inspiration are those kinds of places. I think anyone who has perfected their craft does that. They take who they are, who they've always been, who they were when they were younger, all the life lessons they've learned, all the things that they believe in and feel in their heart, and they translate that in their work. And that's, I think, why people oftentimes will look to those people for inspiration, because you can connect with their message and with the things that they're putting into their work. And so then you kind of say, oh, well, I relate to that. I feel that too. But you kind of need to get into your own grassroots kind of movement and make it more about what you feel and the things that you envision.
Okay, so there's a couple things, I love what you were saying. There's a couple things that I want to go a little bit deeper into. So first of all, talking about not replicating what others are doing. And the thing is that whenever there's a replication, that's not as valuable as the first because it's not the original. If we go to art, if we go to, the art world is a perfect example. If you're looking at a statue or a painting, the replica is not nearly as valuable as the original. So trying to find that originality inside of you. So I love that. But then I know there's so many people who are like, okay, but how do I find that in me when I don't feel like I have it? And so my first question to you is, how long were you shooting before you felt like you found your own style? I remember years and years ago, I was on a forum and I had read that someone had said it took them 4 years to find their style. And I was on month 4 at the time. And I was like, holy crap, I've got 3 years and 8 months left. I'm like, no, that's not okay. I need a style before then.
Right.
So how long did it take you to really find and hone your style where you felt like, okay, this is Michelle coming through the camera and not what I'm seeing around me?
Well, it actually didn't take me long. Probably a good year before I was able to take what was in my head and translate that, into, photographs. So not long, because I wasn't happy taking the pictures that everyone else was taking. You know, like that didn't satisfy me. And I think a big thing for me as a professional, as an artist, is I need to be satisfied with the work I'm producing. I don't want to do something just to get lots of comments on Facebook or my forum, or, you know, that's not my point in making a photograph. My point is my point is to let people know how I feel about life and how I feel about a particular couple or this child, and what their vision of life is, you know. And I think if you've seen my work, there's a lot of emotion, whether it be like happy emotion or, you know, kind of more lovey-dovey emotion. I don't know.
I love your untamed love. I love it.
Yeah. You know, so about a year, I would say, till I was able to really get my technical aspect of it to translate or to work with, you know, my visual artistic aspect of it. So you know, to this day though too, I think a lot of people, you know, people who are new in the industry, they see all these images with all these props and all these gigamagags, and they gotta like make this doohickey and take it out there and hang it here, and they gotta get, you know, this shot with this. Can I throw out another Missouri word? I'm just making up words. That's what we do in Missouri. Doohickey and yappling. What up?
I use doohickey. Doohickey is totally legit.
Awesome. Sweet. But anyway, so, you know, you won't find a lot of that in my work. I want my subjects to be the props. You know, I want people to connect with the people that are in my photographs and what they feel through that person.
When it comes to your clients, and I already know the answer, but I want you to answer it anyways. Are you coming up with a vision in your mind and then saying, okay, this is what we're going to do? Or are you getting to know them and then allowing that to help create the vision for the session?
Well, I will talk with my clients beforehand, and I'll say, you know, what did you come to me for? I actually have a mock form, you know, thing that I have them fill out, and it tells me what they're looking for, more traditional shots, or they want more like interactive shots, and then also what kind of location that they want. Because I live in St. Louis, which there's, you know, a big cityscape, or there's also rural Missouri, which I love. So I talk with them and see kind of what, you know, what floats their boat. And then we'll kind of go from there. Most of the time, people come to me. They want to be out in nature, out, you know, in the outdoors, and kind of go from there.
So you talk with them. You get an idea of what they're wanting, and then you let inspiration go from there based on what they told you.
And so, you know, I will give input into, you know, where we should go and that sort of thing. But ideally, I want my inspiration to come from my subjects, you know, and then I want them to be inspired by what's around us, you know, by the setting that they pick. Hopefully will inspire their, you know, their wardrobe, their attitudes about where we are. I mean, kids love, you know, having room to just run and kind of be set free, so to speak. So I'm finding inspiration, they're finding inspiration. We're just all inspirationed out, and then we play Ring Around the Rosie, and we sing songs to each other by a campfire, and it's awesome.
A little kumbaya and everything.
Woo!
Okay, so what is your number one tip for the photographer who wants to find their own personal style? Is hearing what you said, is trying to think back to what they could find within themselves. What action item can they do and can they take to really start honing that talent, to really start honing their own style?
I would say sit back and reflect on the happiest time period of your life, whatever that may have been, and think about what were the things from that time period that made you happy, and really kind of hone in on those things, whether they were feelings or things or places, and go there, either physically, mentally, however you can. Go there and find it again and bring it into your photograph.
Thank you for being with us. Always a pleasure. And yeah, until next time.
Bye! Mwah! Ooh, thank you.
1,
2.
We are terrible at this. Man, my brain is not. It's a good thing I can cut this in freaking iMovie. Holy cannoli.
Okay.
1, 2. Hey, that was pretty good.
You should have seen your face when you were doing it. It was priceless.